So I almost always, now I did do a grid, as I told you here, right from the get-go. Again, because of time constraints, it's legal, needs to be done. My skills be damned, so to speak. However, at this point, especially this bride needs some work, and I want to show you a good way that I sort of cheat without cheating completely. In other words, I'm still using my powers of observation. I'm just using some high-tech help to get the job done. Okay? So let me show you a couple things that I do. First of all, and if you have a smartphone, you can do this. Simply taking a picture. Let me show you here my photograph. Simply taking a picture of your painting very often helps you to see the errors, the mistakes. I won't even, it's because it reduces in size, makes it smaller, and all of a sudden, seeing it on the screen, you go, oh my goodness, I see what's wrong. So there's one trick right there. If nothing else, while you're doing a portrait, and if you're struggling with it, just take a picture of it, and when it gets on your telephone screen, all of a sudden, like, oh wow, now I see what's wrong, and it's mostly because it's smaller on your screen. But I have more tricks up my sleeve, up the proverbial sleeve, as they say. And that is, after I've taken a picture of my painting, I go into a collage application and put my painting and the photographs side by side, and that helps me even more. Are you with me? I want you to get this. Let me show you the app that I use. It's this one right here. I know it's that. Let me zoom in so you can see a little bit better. It's the one in the. I'm going to get it there in a minute. In the in the middle of your screen. It's called Photo Collage. Okay, and by the way, not all collage apps work. You have to have one that you can adjust the size of the image and that doesn't squeeze your image. So you have to find it. So this one is called, again, it's called Photo Collage, and the icon, the image looks like that. It's this one right here. Got it? Okay. So using that app, I put the photograph and the painting side by side. Now, I hope you can see instantly. That helps me immensely. I go, oh my goodness, I can see a whole bunch of mistakes, and I can. But I go one more. You with me? You hanging in there? I then in my photo, everybody, now I understand that this episode has absolutely nothing to do with you people who don't use smartphones. I mean, I can't even comprehend not having a smartphone, but that's right, some people don't. Okay, never mind, I'll resist the temptation to say anything. I then take this image, I'll show it to you again, as soon as it lets me open it, as soon as my phone gets unlocked. Let me go there again. I take this image, and here's what I do. I flop it. I do a mirror image, which is this one right here. Now, for centuries, one of the major tricks that artists have used to get their paintings right is a mirror. I happen to have a mirror. I think you can see it. I have a mirror right there in my studio. Wave. There we go. And the reason it's there is so that I can do what artists have done for centuries, which is hold your painting in front of me. I cannot tell you. Please, 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 please. If you're a struggling beginner portrait painter, please do not bring your painting to one of my critique groups if you haven't looked at it in a mirror. I can walk down the hall like at the state fair and I can say, boom, they never looked in a mirror. Boom, never looked in a mirror. Boom, never looked in a mirror. Boom, never looked in a mirror. It's that obvious. So there you go. That's an old trick. But here on my phone, I'm doing the same thing, just on my phone instead of a mirror. So this is a mirror image. Now, why is that so valuable? The reason it is so valuable, and you need to understand a very important principle about portrait painting. And again, this is all for beginner portrait painters. If you are Daniel Green, please ignore this entire broadcast. That's sarcasm. Okay. What happens is after you've stared at your painting for a very short time, like 20 minutes, 15, 20, for sure by 25 minutes, you are what I call portrait blind, or portrait blindness sets in. That is to say, you can't see what's wrong with it anymore. I hope you're paying attention. I hope you're listening to me. Your screw-ups you're so blind to your screw-ups. And what most people do, and you've probably experienced this, is you sleep on it. You go to bed, you come back the next day, and you look at your painting and you go, whoa! Because the next day, you flushed your brain out overnight and you can see your mistakes. So one of the things you can do to short of sleeping on it is look at it in a mirror, because then you see you're not portrait blind anymore. Okay, so here's what I did. Just for you guys, I took these two images and I made another collage. I put them together backwards and frontwards. Okay, this is facing the wrong way, this is facing the right way. And for you guys, I printed them out on paper. And I don't normally do this, but I want you to see what I've done here. And I've already got this all marked up. But I want you to see with me what I'm doing. Let me put this here and zoom in. I think this will work best if I do this. Okay, so now here's my photograph, here's my painting. And instantly in my painting, I saw all kinds of errors. Those are air quotes, errors, quote unquote errors, mistakes. And there were so many of them, I started to number them. Number one, the bridge of the nose needed to move that way a little bit. So I called it number one, move nose that way. Number two, the brow needed to be more pronounced. Number two. Number three, the closed eyelids need to move up. Number four, her sideburns, the cute little curl of hair in front of her ear, need to go this way. Everything. 4, 5, and 6 is the hair in front of her ear, and her hairline back here. All move this way. Bump. So I marked those. Number 8, the hair at the back of her hair needed to move this way. 9, her veil needed to move this way, and number 7, I missed. The back of her neck needed to move this way. Okay, so this is all easy to see because I'm seeing it with fresh eyes. That's really important. That concept to circumvent, to get around portrait blindness, you need to do something. And one of the things is to use a mirror image, because now I have fresh eyes and I can see all the places that I mistake. By the way, while I'm on this subject, listen to me for a minute. Again, if you're what's his name, Kinsler, you don't need to listen to this video. If you are Daniel Green, Nelson Shanks, you don't need to listen to me. This is only for us beginners, okay? So get out of here, you experts. This is for us beginners. Oh, what was I going to say now with all that? I forgot what I was going to say. I'll say this, though. Another thing that I was going to say is, here's another way to get around, to circumvent portrait blindness. And that is to do several portraits all at the same time. So work on one for 15 minutes, then go to a new one, 15 minutes, new one, 15 minutes, new one, do 4 or 5 at a time. Then come back and work on number 1, and guess what? You have completely fresh eyes at that point. So I still want to remember what it was I was going to say. That's irritating. I'm so sorry. After my joking about Everett Kinsler watching my video, I drew a blank. It'll come back to me in a few minutes. Okay, I won't try to remember it. So now, why then do I print it off backwards and this way? The reason is, here's all my numbered mistakes, right? But it's hard for me, it's kind of hard to translate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 into this painting. So I translate instead from here to here. And here I redraw all my errors, my mistakes. You see this? I redraw, okay, number 1 was this, number 2 was this, number 3 was this, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, I put this right here, and it's easy now to translate, to transfer all of these changes to this painting. And I'll begin doing that in my next episode, which alas is going to come up in about an hour and a half because I need to go. I have got a meeting coming up. But there was a lot of instruction there for those of you who are beginning or intermediate portrait painters like myself. I don't never make a claim to be the best portrait painter, but I'm a pretty good explainer of how to do it, I think, which is what some of the big dogs have a hard time doing, getting down to our level, if you will. So that's my claim, is that I'm pretty good at explaining. Then I'll show you how I'm going to finish the rest of this painting. Okay? Hope to be back later this afternoon.